Hey YouTube, how you doing? This is me, Kevin Lee. I want to thank you for coming back to my channel, and I'm gonna try to mix it up a little bit. I in my first 50 videos, I was walking around the town, different places, showing you things about Tampa. This time, I'm gonna show you some of the places I visited. I was in Antigua, and this is the background here is Antigua. It's a Caribbean island, beautiful, beautiful island. Soon as I come up to the level I anticipate I should hit by the time I retire, I would like to get me a little place in Antigua. I'm gonna be a snowbird because I live in Tampa, which doesn't get cold at all, but it's Antigua's right next to the equator. Anyway, I digress. The question I received was, what are the best dividend stocks in my opinion? And I like this question because I love dividends. When I was in my 20s and 30s, I understood dividends, but I really wanted growth stocks. And now what I do is my primary. Now, once again, your investment thesis determines the type of stocks you purchase. Everyone on the planet. Well, let me step back a bit. No one knows the future. No one knows what's going to happen. We do our due diligence. I wrote a video on DD, due diligence, to help us become better predictors of the future. But no one has any guarantees. Well, no one knows you better than yourself. No one knows your family better than you know your family. I even argue no one knows your kids better than you know your kids. So what I mean by that, you want to learn from me, people on the internet, to come up with knowing yourself, and then you will select the best dividend investment for yourself. So let me tell you what I do. I invest in AT&T. I like AT&T because of the yield. AT&T has a lot of debt, but they pay a large dividend, about 52 cents per share. Reason why I like AT&T is because I believe, like the left foot and the right foot connected to the body, AT&T is tied to the iPhone. There's a lot of people who use Apple phones, Android phones on the AT&T network. So I just think it's a huge cash flow, cash cow, and I love their dividends. Reason why I love dividends now is I'm 54. In 11 years, maybe 5 years, I'm going to retire, and I want to live on dividends. I would like to get a couple grand per month in dividends. So that's one that I like. Another one I like is Apple. Apple doesn't pay a big dividend, but I like the technology. So that might be a little risky because I'm tying everything to Apple and AT&T, but they got a lot of cash flow. Another one, now, I don't own Caterpillar. However, that's one that's a lot of people invest in. If you look at it, there's two things about dividends. There's some called the dividends that a company, I think it's Dow or DOV, Dover, they paid a dividend for 60 plus years straight. Coca-Cola pays a dividend. I own a little bit of Coca-Cola. So even General Electric, I believe, is going to come back, but they put a lot of, they reduced their dividend down to 1 cent, 1 cent per share, but I think it's back up to 6 cents. I tell you all these different dividend stocks because you may want to consider which ones you want to add to your portfolio. I'm just sharing my portfolio. So let me give you an example of my strategy. And I'm really encouraged. I invite you to share your strategy with me. So let's assume I took $1,000, invested in the market. I made $10,000 on a stock I wanted to trade, a stock that wasn't my oak tree, that was going to stay in my portfolio for generational wealth. So I made $10,000. 1,000 to 10,000, easy math. Let's say I made 10,000. Take 25% of that, 2,500. 25% goes to the family and me because I made the money. 50%, 5,000, goes towards dividends because that's what I like to. If you make some money, you could buy a big chunk of dividend paying stocks at one time. If you're buying 1 share, 2 shares, it takes a long time to get there. So whenever I make a lot of money, and I sell a position that I was profitable on, I have a formula where I take 50% of that, buy dividends, 25% comes to me, and 25% gets reinvested. I'm eager to know what's your strategy for accumulating dividends. Now, in another video, I spoke about my friend. His strategy is totally different. He's like, every dollar he makes goes towards a dividend. Then the dividend he uses to buy growth stock, let's say growth stocks, biotech stocks, just not guaranteed stocks. And then from there, if he makes some money, he'll buy stuff for himself. That's his money machine. I need to make a video on money machine. Thanks for your question, and please keep them coming.